You interrupted playtime.
Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're investigating how powerful the Templars in Assassin's Creed actually are. We'll be looking at both their political influence and their physical capability. Spoilers ahead, you've been warned.
And he has chosen his path accordingly. A similar choice will soon present itself to you.
Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Shay Cormac, Assassin's Creed Rogue.
You join me for some practice?
Soon. I've got other business first.
Shay Cormac holds a unique position in the Assassin's Creed universe as the protagonist of Rogue. While not very powerful politically, his impact on the Templar Order is noteworthy. Initially an assassin, Shay's disillusionment with their methods after a mission went wrong leads him to join the Templar Order. Shay's knowledge of assassin tactics makes him especially dangerous to the Brotherhood. And throughout Rogue, Shay eliminates key assassin figures and nearly wipes out the Colonial Brotherhood. Those of you who've played Unity know that Shay took out Arno's father too, setting Arno on the path of becoming an assassin. Charles Lee, Assassin's Creed 3.
Charles Lee, sir. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. I've been asked to introduce you to the city, help you settle in. Oh, no need, sir. I've arranged for your bags to be delivered to the inn.
In Assassin's Creed 3, Charles Lee is established early on as an especially dangerous Templar. He's remorselessly ambitious and will do anything to further the Templar cause. What makes Lee especially powerful is his influence in the revolution as he tries to drive the new nation into Templar control. He shows considerable influence over key figures, and he's as brutal as he's crafty. Throughout the game, he's shown a willingness to sacrifice anyone as long as it benefits the Templar Order. Together with Haytham, they manipulated both sides of the war, and also manipulated Connor into believing otherwise.
I will kill you, Connor. This I swear.
Robert de Sablé, Assassin's Creed.
I want us through this gate before sunrise. The sooner we possess it, the sooner we can turn our attention to those jackals at Masyaf.
Robert de Sablé is, from a development standpoint, our first Templar Order Grand Master, back in Assassin's Creed 1. He led the Templars during the Third Crusade and was a lieutenant in King Richard I's Crusader army, so he had a lot of influence in the Holy Land. In his violent pursuit of the Apple of Eden, he had manipulated Altair, and by the time we find out, it's already too late. He reveals he'd been working together with Al-Mu'alim, the reigning big cheese of the Assassin Brotherhood at the time. Turns out, Altair can't trust anyone. Reginald Burch, Assassin's Creed 3.
Evening, Haytham.
Reginald?
I can't tell you how happy I was to hear they'd mounted this revival. Gay's best work by far. Have you seen it before?
One of the most quickly forgotten Templars in all of Assassin's Creed is Reginald Burch. He's an extremely wealthy Grand Master of the British Rite of the Templar Order, residing in London. As it turns out, it was Burch who was responsible for recruiting Haytham Kenway into the Order, even though Reginald had worked for Edward Kenway. As you may or may not know, Reginald Burch was behind Edward's death and was largely responsible for the ruination of the Kenway family. He's the mastermind behind the Templar schemes during the American Revolution, and he had such an impact that later British Templars like Crawford Starrick got repeatedly compared to him. Haytham Kenway, Assassin's Creed 3.
Haytham.
You should have come to me. We would have found another way. Yes. But then you would have known. For what it's worth, I'm sorry.
Haytham Kenway is kind of a tragic figure. We don't realize it off the bat, let alone the fact that he's a Templar when we first play as him. He's very charismatic and skilled in the assassin arts. However, we learn that he's actually the Grand Master of the Colonial Templars, and he'd inadvertently caused the downfall of his own family from having been manipulated to do so. Most of the events in AC3 and Rogue take place partially thanks to him. Shay may have been the one holding the blade, but it was Haytham's direction that destroyed the Colonial Brotherhood. After Haytham took over, he explosively grew the Colonial Templar Order.
Never forget what has happened here.
I won't.
Crawford Stark, Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
They have chosen a Grand Master so ruthless, so thorough. One might think Reginald Burch himself had returned. His name is Crawford Starrick, and he intends to rule the world.
A few hundred years later in London, the new Grand Master of the British Templar Rite in AC Syndicate is the total embodiment of industrial age Templar power. He controls London's blooming production industries, making him incredibly wealthy and allowing a good degree of political sway. He commands a wide network of political allies, and by extension, even the gangs of the city. If not for the Fry twins, Starrick would have had his hands on the Shroud of Eden, and he even had his eye on other pieces of Eden too. In terms of business, Starrick was the richest Templar of them all. Chisure Borche, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
How did you find me?
Mario D Torres let me here.
Chisure Borche is one of the most charismatic antagonists across the series. His power stems from a combination of his ruthless ambition, political cunning, and direct military command. Unlike other Templars, Chisure is driven by direct personal feelings, and he attempts to forge an empire for his family with himself at its center. While he holds a powerful position, it's mostly thanks to his father's position as Pope, which Chisure exploits for wealth and territory. However, Chisure is a very skilled and brutal military leader, expanding the Borgia family through conquest. As is the case with most Templars, Chisure would defy even his own father just to give himself more control instead.
Kill him! Kill the assassin! Tear the maldito bastardo to pieces!
François-Thomas Germain, Assassin's Creed Unity.
Thank God. They've been holding me for months. Please, get me out of here.
Germain was a silversmith, sage, and Grand Master of the French Templar Order during the French Revolution. Only shortly after joining the Order, he had decided to reform the Order as he believed it had grown corrupt. While it's been done before, no one played both sides as effectively as François-Thomas Germain. Interestingly enough, while he was incredibly powerful, his reign had some positive effects on France. He had both personally orchestrated the revolution and also ended it, all in an effort to take a very late revenge on the royal family for having purged the Templars long ago. Laurana D Torres et Ayala, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
You were expected 1 week ago.
Apologies, Governor. My ship was set upon by pirates. We were scuttled. I arrived only yesterday.
In Black Flag, the game doesn't actually put so much attention on Torres' power and influence in the Assassin-Templar conflict. However, not only was he both a Spanish military officer and governor of Cuba and Florida, but he was also secretly a member of the Spanish Templar Order, as well as Grand Master of the West Indies Order. Hilariously enough, Edward Kenway ended up utterly decimating the West Indies Templars by accident. While he did it with intention later, he stumbled upon them by pure chance. But with that said, the West Indies Brotherhood stood no chance for as long as Torres lived. As governor, he ruled the Caribbean with ruthless efficiency, and he was the heart of the Templar economy at the time.
Rogers can hold these British hounds at bay, for a time. But this will be your fate if you fail to cooperate.
Rodrigo Borgia, Assassin's Creed 2.
Now, is there anything else? Muy bien. May the Father of Understanding guide you.
May the Father of Understanding guide you.
Powerful as the previous Templars were, none of them were as powerful as Rodrigo Borgia, also known as Pope Alexander VI. While originally hailing from Spain, Rodrigo would end up as the Grand Master of the Roman Templar Order. He vastly trumps his peers in reach and power due to his unique position as the Pope. With that amount of religious and spiritual influence, he used the Catholic Church to become a Templar of unparalleled reach. During his reign, he'd use his power to manipulate historical events all across Europe, with the end goal of uniting the entire world under Templar control. It's safe to say Rodrigo was the most influential Templar of them all.
You can't! You can't! It's my destiny! Mine! I am the prophet!
Assassin's Creed likes to make powerful historical figures into Templars, but who do you think had the most impact? Tell us your own picks down below in the comments.